Welcome to my channel, to everyone who's new here, and of course to those of you who are back again. Great to have you here. In this video we will take a look together at possible scenarios for the price development of Render, ONDO, SUI and HBAR. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. And if you also want to trade with cheap taker fees, then I can recommend the crypto exchange mexc, which has a similar trading volume to Bitget, Bybit and OKX, but as you can see I already highlighted you it here. The taker fees are far much lower than on the other top crypto exchanges, and on top of that you can get an additional 20% discount if you use my referral link, which you can find in the video description. And also 100 pairs, 0 fees just on mexc, and here you can find some popular altcoins which you can trade without any fees. So let's get to Render. I think we have already predicted that movement to the downside pretty well. It was a bit more bearish than expected, but we have said here breakout of the white trend line, retest, follow through, so we can get into the box $4.77 to $4.67. We got far lower than that because this was probably liquidation for most people. It's okay, can happen. So what I think now is that we have here a rising wedge. If I go into the 15-minute chart, then you are going to see it far better. It already broke to the downside, and I expect here a possible retest to fill also the fair value gap, and after that a follow through. So target of that rising wedge is the $4.62. I will put you here a price mark. That is also the box, the lower range of the box. So we have to see where we are going to get support, somewhere between $4.68 to $4.63. If we lose that, then we have here fair value gaps. This is also support area because we have here from the downside the flag incoming. Yeah, it's not a flag anymore, or a panel. It's not anymore because we have already broke that to the upside, but we are again within it. So basically here we have a support trend line. It's going to give us support in my opinion. But then we have to see if we break it to the downside, then it would be negative. Then we can even go down to $3.80. But let's talk about that tomorrow. For Render, I can't be bullish at all at the moment, unless we break the $5.33 to the upside. Yeah, we have coins where we can say it a bit earlier, but for Render, it's still a far way up. Render has to do 11% to the upside and break it to the upside with a nice retest. Then I would be bullish, because then I think $5.51 is the first target, and afterwards $5.75. So let's wait and see what Render is going to do. I think we can get another push to the downside with a higher chance. So what about ONDO? I think we also made it pretty good that we got here the first breakout for sure. We had here a fair value gap which got closed afterwards. So we got the breakout, fair value gap got closed, and then another push to the upside. But 94.5 cents was our first take profit. Yeah, we were near to it, and I think we can still get into our small purple box, which is between 92.7 cents to 91 cents. Since we had that rectangle, double top pattern, triple top pattern, it doesn't matter what this here is. It looks like that we broke it to the downside, sustainable. Yeah, we are still waiting for the follow through, but if the follow through is going to happen and we break the 94.5 cents to the downside, then I think it might be even possible that we are in a bigger trend to the downside. We also have here a huge fair value gap, and if we get near to it and nearer, then we can still drop into that area before we then push to the upside. So I would say key level 94.5 cents. We can think about a bullish reversal Maybe here, if we break something to the upside, we can even make it, I like this one even more. So if we break it to the upside, then it would be positive, the 99.33 cents. Then we can get back to our tops here at $1.02 to $1.03. If we also break it to the upside, then we are having here a resistance over us at $1.05, which we also have to break to the upside to go into the $1.10. But so far, like I said, it looks like that we are going to drop into the purple box first, and then we have to see if we also break it to the downside, then it would be negative and we have a bigger pullback incoming for ONDO. If we break something to the upside, then it might be possible that we can get another top for ONDO. So what about SUI? SUI is tricky. SUI is tricky because we have a bullish pattern and we have 3 bearish pattern. Yeah, exactly, 3. So let me clean it up so we can see it a bit better. So let's start with the bullish one. The bullish pattern here is in orange. It's a falling wedge. We broke it to the upside. We got here the retest. And we have formed a bearish pattern in an ascending triangle. Broke to the downside. Not a big deal. So the ascending triangle in purple broke to the downside. And I think that the $3.74.5, I will put you here price mark, they have to hold. Because if that price marks hold, it would be very positive. Then we have here our second retest of that falling wedge. We didn't break in bright blue the big falling wedge, the big rising wedge, which is here a bearish pattern. We didn't break it then to the downside. And we wouldn't get a follow through or a possible follow through for this here, which can also be a shoulder formatation. So $3.74.7. If they break to the downside, then I think $3.50 is going to get our first target. If we lose the $3.50, then make sure we are in a bigger pullback, in my opinion. And we can even reach down for $2.85 or even into the fair value gap round about $2.55 for SUI. If we hold that support at $3.75 and we get a nice push to the upside where we also break the purple trend line here, I will also put you here price mark, the $3.94, then we are in a push to the upside. And the push to the upside, the falling wedge in orange, is going to tell us $4.32 for SUI, which is also a fair value gap. That wouldn't get us into a bullish reversal for SUI, because we have here the trend line from the rising wedge. As you can see, we always made a higher high, but we are still having a bearish pattern. Once it breaks to the downside, it will hurt. So if we get here at $3.75, a nice support with a nice push over $3.95, then we can reach for the fair value gap, or if we make this trend line, the blue one, longer, it even fits. So we can even basically get up to $4.44 without being bullish. We have to break the $4.44 to the upside, where I would say, okay, that all the bearish patterns are got invalidated, and we can go straight for $5, for example. I don't see it at the moment. So we have to wait for SUI. I have named you 2 key levels, which I think are pretty close to each other. So we are going to get a decision here soon, in my opinion. Let's move on to our last coin, which is HBAR. So far, I have told you that the 20 cents have to hold. Head and shoulders formatation. broke to the downside, got its retest here, even several times more retests, and we formed here a rising wedge in dark blue. That rising wedge, if that breaks to the downside, and we already got the first sign of a breakout. Let's see the price mark here, 19.8 cents. If we break to the downside, then the target is going to get first the low here at 19.3 cents. Those lows here are the first target. The second target is the 19.1 cents. Basically, if we get to 19.1 cents, then it's just going to get the follow through. Then we had here our head and shoulders formatation, breakout, retest, follow through, down to 18 cents. That's what I think is going to happen if we lose the support here, which are the lows. Yeah, so let's see what HBAR is going to do. I think HBAR has still a chance for a nice, I wouldn't say bullish reversal, but at least a push to the upside. This here can also be a double bottom pattern. Yeah, the chances that this breaks to the upside are far lower than breaking to the downside. But if we break the 20.3 cents to the upside, then we can get a push, maybe 21.25 cents, where we also have here resistance. I can make it clear. So this resistance here, perfectly hitting our target, or even a bit earlier, but I think we can even get up to 21.2 cents for HBAR if we break the 20.3 cents to the upside. Like I said, chances are higher that we are going to meet the 18 cents again for HBAR, and then we have to see if we hold that support. It would be positive, because then we can get a nice push to the upside, or can even expect it. If we break it to the downside, then we have to see what is going to happen, because the 18 cents are, I think, our best friend, but can also be our worst enemy. We have seen it in the past, where we hold here several times the 18 cents. Then we broke it to the downside, then we got the retest, and here was the follow through. So basically, you can see how much damage we got. Afterwards, we had issues getting over the 18 cents. So if we lose it, then we can even drop far lower than most people expect, before we then get a push to the upside. But that push to the upside is not going to be a super bullish one. Yeah, I can imagine that Render is going to get a nice push to the upside, maybe even up to $9, because I think the pullback which Render is going to get is not so low. But if HBAR is going to get a pullback into that area here, I can say HBAR is probably not the best coin to long in the next push to the upside. Yeah, but let's see what the coins are going to do. We will see each other tomorrow. Thank you for watching.